Need to connect your FastMCP server to Auth 0, Google, or Azure OAuth, but don't want to implement dynamic client registration? We'll set up an OIDC proxy that handles the OAuth flow for you, using just a provider's config URL and your app credentials. You'll see how to configure the callback path, customize token verification, and integrate it with your FastMCP server in minutes. From FastMCP, import FastMCP. From FastMCP, server, auth, OIDC proxy, import OIDC proxy. Hash create the OIDC proxy. Auth equals OIDC proxy. Hash provider's configuration URL. Config URL equals https://provider com/well-known/OpenID configuration. Hash your registered app credentials. Client ID equals your client ID. Client secret equals your client secret. Hash your FastMCP server's public URL. Base URL equals https://your server com. Hash optional. Customize the callback path. Default is auth callback. Hash redirect path equals /custom/callback. MCP equals FastMCP. Name equals my server. Auth equals auth. This implements the proxy pattern for OpenID Connect authentication, acting as an intermediary between your FastMCP server and external identity providers. The OIDC proxy handles the entire OAuth flow, including token exchange, validation, and session management, while presenting a unified authentication interface to your application. What distinguishes this approach is its ability to standardize authentication across diverse providers without requiring dynamic client registration support from each one. The pattern works by encapsulating provider-specific complexity behind a consistent interface. Your server interacts with the proxy through a simple configuration contract, while the proxy manages provider discovery, token negotiation, and client state persistence internally. This separation of concerns lets you switch identity providers with minimal code changes, as the proxy abstracts away differences in OAuth implementations, redirect URIs, and token formats. This approach solves the fragmentation problem in OAuth integrations, where each provider has unique requirements for client registration, token validation, and scope handling. It's particularly valuable when working with enterprise identity providers that lack dynamic client registration, or when you need to maintain consistent auth behavior across multiple environments. The trade-off is slightly increased initial setup complexity, but this pays off in long-term maintainability and provider flexibility. Let's break it down. From FastMCP, import FastMCP. From FastMCP, server, auth, OIDC proxy, import OIDC proxy. Imports the core FastMCP class for building AI callable tools and the OIDC proxy for OpenID Connect authentication. This establishes the foundation for secure, authenticated tool creation before server initialization. Auth equals OIDC proxy. Config URL equals https://provider com/well-known/OpenID configuration. This specifies the OpenID Connect provider's configuration endpoint. The URL follows the standard, well-known discovery pattern, allowing the client to automatically fetch all required OAuth 2 endpoints, supported scopes, and token validation parameters. Eliminates manual configuration of individual OAuth 2 URLs. Hash your registered app credentials. Client ID equals your client ID. Client secret equals your client secret. These are your OAuth 2 client credentials, obtained when registering your application with the identity provider. The cliented publicly identifies your app, while client secret authenticates it during token requests. Never expose this in client-side code. Together, they enable secure delegation of authentication to the OIDC provider. Hash your FastMCP server's public URL. Base URL equals https://yourserver.com. This sets the public-facing URL of your FastMCP server, which OIDC uses to construct the callback endpoint for authentication. Without this, the OAuth flow breaks because the identity provider can't redirect back to your server with the authorization code. Always use the exact public URL, including protocol local testing requires tunnel tools like ngrok. Hash optional. Customize the callback path. Default is auth callback. Hash redirect path equals /custom/callback. This commented out parameter lets you override the default OAuth callback endpoint. The OIDC provider redirects here after authentication, so customizing this path helps avoid conflicts with existing routes or enables cleaner URL structures. MCP equals FastMCP. Name equals my server. Auth equals auth. This instantiates the FastMCP server with OIDC authentication enabled. The auth equals auth parameter injects the previously configured OIDC proxy, securing all tool endpoints with OpenID Connect, while name sets the server identifier visible to clients. This is the standard initialization pattern for production-ready FastMCP deployments. OIDC proxy pattern. This authentication bridge lets FastMCP servers delegate identity management to external providers while maintaining a unified client experience, with the proxy handling all OAuth flows transparently. The base URL must exactly match your server's public address, including protocol, or callback validation will silently fail. Always test with your provider's token debugger before production deployment.
The proxy that knows no users authenticates all users.